Shabbat Shalom. Can you hear me out there? Shabbat Shalom. Wow, there's a lot of good vibes in this room tonight. Wonderful energy. I guess that's what the sun does. Get a little bit of warm weather. We get the feeling that summer isn't quite over yet. So we come together on this Shabbat and we begin with words of welcome, familiar words that can be found on page 40 in your prayer books. The angels on high guarding us and our souls. Shalom Aleichem, page 40. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Try that with us. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Shalom Aleichem Malachei Hasharet Malachei Elyon. Melech Malchei HaMelachim Kadosh Baruch Hu. Try that with us. Shalom Aleichem Malachei Hasharet Malachei Elyon. Melech Malchei HaMelachim Kadosh Baruch Hu. Bochem LeShalom Malachei HaShalom Malachei Elyon. Melech Malchei HaMelachim Kadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem Malachei Hasharet Malachei Elyon. Melech Malchei HaMelachim Kadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem Malachei Hasharet Malachei Elyon. Melech Malchei HaMelachim Kadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni LeShalom Malachei HaShalom Malachei Elyon. Melech Malchei HaMelachim Kadosh Baruch Hu. Ya la 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 la. Shalom Aleichem Malachei Hasharet Malachei Elyon. Melech Malchei HaMelachim Kadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem Malachei Hasharet Malachei Elyon. Melech Malchei HaMelachim Kadosh Baruch Hu. Selichot LeShalom Malachei HaShalom Malachei Elyon. Melech Malchei HaMelachim Kadosh Baruch Hu. Ya la 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 la. Shalom Aleichem Malachei Hasharet Malachei Elyon. Melech Malchei HaMelachim Kadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem Malachei Hasharet Malachei Elyon. Melech Malchei HaMelachim Kadosh Baruch Hu. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la la.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We turn in our prayer books now to page 13 as we invite Linda Gervitz to come forward to help us light our Shabbat candles. We are celebrating a beautiful evening outside. It's like summertime in September. So it feels like that. We're still outside, right? Okay, perfect.
Light is the foundation of life, yet impossible to touch. Light is flowers growing and fruit trees blossoming, photosynthesis and rainbow shimmering. Light is energy and romance, enlightenment and lightning. Light is red and violet and magenta and blue. Lasers and campfires, warmth and illumination, the sunset and the dawn. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu l'shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, eternal source of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot and commands us to kindle the lights of Shabbat.
Baruch
Thanks,
atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen. We turn to page 34 for Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, לקבלה, lecha dodi, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, לקבלה, שמור וזכור בדיבורך, והשמיע אליך מיוחד אדוני אחד, ושמורך שם תפארת ונטילה. lecha dodi, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, לקבלה, lecha dodi, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, לקבלה,
לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, בסוף המעשה במחשבה תחילה.
lecha dodi,
לקראת כלה,
בני שבת, לקבלה, lecha dodi, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, לקבלה. Rise together. Oy v'shalom atet ba'ala, gam b'simcha ובצהלה, תוך אמוני ים סגולה, בואי חלה, lecha dodi, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, קבלה, 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 lecha dodi,
I miss Shabbat Unplugged. I got to get up and dance around and make believe I could sing. It was a lot of fun. And so we decided that it's time for a new generation to create something that would be exciting in terms of worship. And you'll be hearing that on October 20th, we are starting our first adult Kehillah service. It means community, except it's being led by Rabbi Lader and our new artist in residence, Jacob Krause. So basically, it's like Shabbat Unplugged, but with more talent. That's really sort of what we're going for. And we hope you will be there. And the reason I thought of it is the prayer that I turned to begin tonight is on page 30. And Scott Stern, who was my partner in Shabbat Unplugged, took this reading and turned it into our Baruch Hu. We are one. So on page 30, we pray responsively. We are young, our experience is few. We are older, veterans of life's teachings. We are married, we are single, we are Jews of many varied traditions. We are different from one another, and yet we are one. Having traveled many different roads, our separate journeys have led us all to this sacred place in our lives. United by tradition and by faith, we raise our voices in celebration and in song. We continue on page 42.
Yitkada v'yitkada shemei Rabbah, Amen. Be'alma divrach yutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon, v'chayei l'chol beit Yisrael. Ba'gala, ba'gala, u'v'zman karim, v'meru, Amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach, le'alam ulad me'almaya, Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar, v'yitalev, v'yithalal, shemei dekudesha, brichu, le'la min kol bechata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma, v'meru, Amen. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la.
At the bottom of page 46, we pray together. Can we spend a few moments observing the whizzing creations of our mind and then put them to rest? Can we notice the web of the past that we are always spinning and let it fall away? Can we meet ourselves in this and only this moment of Shabbat? Then time is sacred and space is holy. Then we meet at Sinai and rush to embrace sky. Baruch atah Adonai, Amariv Aravim. Blessed are you, O God, makes the evening to fall. We turn now to the bottom of page 54. And again, we pray together. See the world as a gift from God directly to us. Act as a gift from God directly to the world. Breathe as if we are all breath. Pray as if we are all the source.
Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. As you're seated, we continue, page 57. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavecha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'beitecha uvlechtecha b'derech uv'shofchecha uv'ekumecha וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, הייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Amen.
And speaking of love, which we were, in the V'ahavta, I bet you can feel the love that is just surging through this room right now. And you may not even know why. And the reason is that we are about to perform the ufruf, the wedding blessing, for a couple, really two families coming together whom we love, a bride who it is impossible not to love, a groom who is very much the same, and somehow, through God's intervention, they found one another. So we're all going to fall in love with them, I promise you. And so it is with a full heart that we call now on Lauren Gottlieb and Noah Stone to come forward for their ufruf wedding blessings.
ברוכים הבאים בשם אדוני, ברכנוכם מבית אדוני.
Are you in love yet? I can tell you. I am. Shomei Tefillah, O God who hears our prayers. This beautiful couple has come before this glorious congregation to seek your blessing on their love. Help them, O God, to transform that frail chuppah, that wedding canopy, into a bayit, into a home that is filled with love and health and laughter and God's greatest gift of shalom. There are two hearts entwined. There are two souls entwined. And there are two families entwined. Bring them all together and make them understand that God, your love, is the source of all of our love. As we all say, Amen. Mazel tov.
Simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, yehelanu. Simen Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simen Tov, Simen Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simen Tov, Simen Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simen Tov, Yehelanu, 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 Ulechol Israel, Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulechol Israel. Simen Tov and Mazel Tov and Mazel Tov and Simen Tov, Simen Tov and Mazel Tov and Mazel Tov and Simen Tov, Simen Tov and Mazel Tov and Mazel Tov and Simen Tov, Yehelanu.
Rabbi Yedrob is correct. There must be something in the air. There's miracles of love and marriage, and I've been actually thinking about miracles all day today. You may remember it was a year ago right now when I had the opportunity to be on television because of a miracle. I was chosen to be a special person for a little boy who was then in first grade, and during our special person's lunch, he choked. I used the Heimlich maneuver. I got interviewed by the news with him. It was magnificent, and it was a miracle. But that's really miraculous because some of his family is here today. His grandparents are here. And today, I also got chosen again to be Solomon's special person. We had lunch together. But we finished eating. He looked at me. No. He looked at me, he said, "Okay, I don't need you anymore," and went to play with his friends. It was good. It was a great day. So speaking of miracles and thinking of all of the miracles in our lives, we turn to page 62 and sing a prayer of miracles, Mi Chamocha.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh. Torah
Tehilot,
oseh, Torah
Tehilot,
oseh.
Adonai imlok leolam va'ed.
מלכותך רהובה לך, וכאיים לבני משה, זה אלינו ואמרו, זה אלינו ואמרו,
Adonai imlok leolam va'ed. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la.
תורה
Tehilot,
עושה נורא
Tehilot,
עושה
Adonai imlok leolam va'ed.
ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
We continue now in the middle of page 64. Cause us, our Creator, to lie down in peace, and raise us up, O sovereign God, to renewed life and peace. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel, and be our shield of mercy and of peace. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Blessed are you, Adonai, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem.
ושמרו בני ישראל ושמרו את השבת לעשות את השבת, דורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, מששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. מששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. Page 68, we join together. Adonai, sifata tiftachu, yagid tihiratecha. Eternal God, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor, V'Hadorah, Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Ha'akol, V'Zofer Hasei Avot V'Imavot, U'Mevii Geula Livnei Bneihem, Le'man Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Chozer Moshiach Magid, Baruch atah Adonai, Magid Avraham, Be'ezrat Sarah.
They're at the bottom of page 69. Prayer invites us to let God's presence suffuse our spirits, to let God's will prevail in our lives. Prayer cannot bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, and rebuild a weakened will. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye HaKol. Blessed are you, O God, who renews all things.
אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. As you're seated, we pray silently. ratzon imrefi. Il ratzon imrefi. Vegion libi lefanecha. Adonai tzurive gohari. Oh, may the words of my mouth, the meditations of my heart be acceptable before you. O God, my rock and my redeemer. O say shalom bimromav. Uyase shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'imeru, ve'imeru. Amen.
So I really believe that there is power in prayer, and especially with the Mishaberach. Singing this prayer, I can see the healing happening before my eyes. And so as we look to the words of Mishaberach, which are on page 72 and also I think on 86, 83, 80-something, 83. It's so powerful it's in here twice. That we sing these words, and I would like you to think of somebody in your life who really needs this blessing. Somebody who needs a healing of body or a healing of the spirit. I want you to picture them in your mind as you sing these words and recognize that we're all on a journey together towards healing. And so we hope that these prayers will encourage them on their way.
Of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
So first of all, don't think we're not keeping track of who's here tonight. You get extra God points. We all know it's Elul. You're going to be here a lot this month, so we see you, okay? You really great work being here, and we appreciate it. So chances are, if you've heard a few sermons in your life, and those of you who are here tonight are regulars, you've no doubt heard the story about this young man who falls off his horse. He breaks his leg, and he thinks he's cursed with bad luck, only to find out that his bad luck was actually good luck, because when the Russian army came to his village to conscript soldiers, they didn't take him. Have you heard the story? No? Oh, well, I just told you the story. So because of this, His life was spared. He was able to marry, have children, have a great life. And it's a much longer story than that, with a whole chronology of events that at first look like blessings and become curses, and then events like the broken leg that look like curses and become blessings. The bottom line in the story being that, of course, we never really know. Life goes on, and the things that happen to us play out for good or bad, depending, perhaps, on how long life goes on, but more likely, and more to the point of the story, on how we look at life, whether with fatalism or optimism, as a sentence to which we are condemned, or as a journey from which we constantly learn. Blessing or curse? Who gets to make the call? And when is that final call really made? Now, truth be told, I don't even really like that story because it goes on and on and on and on. And I don't think it takes such an extended telling for mature adults like us to get the basic point. It's not rocket science. But the other day, I had an encounter that led me to a much richer understanding of the tale, and I want to share it with you tonight. So last Sunday, I was sitting on a bus on the way back from Cedar Point with 50 of my closest 16-year-old friends. And like all of our hours-long bus rides in youth group, a few teens and I began talking about all sorts of light and frivolous things like white privilege and institutional racism in our schools, and pressures and anxiety connected to test scores and college applications, and eventually we landed on Lashon Hara, speaking ill about others. Now, in our sacred text we read, and I quote, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue." And in one of my favorite, brilliant visual lines in the Talmud, we learn that, quote, "One who embarrasses another in public, it's as if that person has shed their blood." Now, I remember my rabbi growing up explaining this to me, asking me to imagine someone's cheeks flushing red with shame, the color creeping into their ears, unable to hide the fact to those around them that they were wounded, they were humiliated. And it's an image that has stayed with me throughout my life. And on the bus ride, I tried to explain to the kids that, this was hyperbole. It was this extreme analogy that was used for the sake of emphasizing a point. The point that it can be really dangerous to engage in either of these acts, to shame someone, to speak ill of them, because like murder, you can't take back what you've said or done to someone after you've hurt or shamed them. So I felt the need to explain that, of course, the rabbis knew that taking a life was more severe a crime than slandering someone or gossiping behind their back. That wielding swords was more physically dangerous than casting words at people. But then, one of our quieter teens, who hadn't said a word up to that point, came to the text's defense. "Actually," she said, "words and embarrassment can be a matter of life and death, because words can lead to bullying. Sometimes bullying takes place on social media, which is public, and this kind of public shaming can lead some teens to suicide," which was a really chilling point. So all the other teens on the bus, everybody now who's listening, they started to nod their heads along in agreement. The texts, our ancient text, rang true for them, even at face value, without much stretching of the imagination. Where I saw hyperbole, they saw reality. And it occurred to me that this is the world our teens live in, a world of hyperbole, of exaggeration come true. This dramatic world where words carry even more weight than they did for our ancestors. And aside from the fact that they're expected to negotiate life without the benefit of a fully formed prefrontal cortex, and while riding the waves in a sea of hormonal change, they simply don't have the benefit of having lived on earth long enough to know that sometimes curses can be blessings and blessings can be curses, and that life, God willing, is long, and that it unfolds in ways we could never expect if we just stick around long enough to find out. So in their world, their first serious breakup could signal for them their last serious relationship. They don't know. The single party that they didn't get invited to could be the sign of a new trend or permanent categorization and subjugation. And that summer job at camp they didn't get could mean not being able to replace the broken phone they need to stay as connected as the rest of their friends, and then what? I didn't bring up these specific scenarios with the teens on the bus, and I also didn't bring up that really, really, really long story about the guy and the horse and the broken leg, but I did suggest that there is a tendency for people their age to jump to extreme conclusions about life, and they nodded their heads again in agreement. That's why there's this campaign, I'm sure you've heard about it, to keep LGBT kids alive through the traumas of harassment, promulgated the project and the phrase, "It gets better." because many teens assume that the way it is today is how it's going to be the rest of their lives. And as author Joanne Fedler writes in her book about parenting teens, their pain is unfiltered, it seems interminable. In their world, it really feels as though there will be no end to their suffering, and parents really need to get this. But at the same time, she advises, we adults have had longer life experience than they've had, and this counts for something. We know, most of us know, that unendurable situations end, and that solutions we can't work out sometimes reveal themselves when we least expect it. And it's our job to find a way to let them know this. In the most brilliant line of the whole book, she writes, our teenagers need to understand that when life doesn't feel like a party, it doesn't become meaningless. The young man who fell off his horse was spared his life. The story didn't just end with his broken leg. There was a reason to go on. It's not just that if you wait around long enough, the tides will shift and the blessings will become curses and curses become blessings and then it gets better. The deeper meaning, really, is that life has meaning, even when it doesn't feel like a party. In our Torah portion this week, Ki Tavo, we're commanded to offer our first fruits to God, the best of what we have, our most precious, valuable stock. If we do, we're offered blessings. And if we don't, curses. But like the story, the Russian, the broken leg, we get the nuance. Sometimes in order to move through this world, the bad turns out okay, and the good isn't really so good. And in raising our children in this community, we are living out the commandment to bring our first fruits to God in a tangible, measurable, meaningful way. We're instilling within our precious youth the values of our people. We're giving them the freedom and the space and the foundation that allows them to talk through the blessings and curses of adolescence together with each other, with their clergy, with parents and grandparents who've raised and loved them their whole lives. And yet still, we have to remember that our children's experiences are worthy of our time, that their insight, their interpretations of our tradition can break us open too, that we can learn from the depth of their emotion, their passion, and their power. Tomorrow night, we'll gather in our sanctuary for Selichot, if you can believe it, the kickoff to our high holiday season, that special time of year when your rabbis wake up regularly at 4 a.m. having nightmares about the parking lot. It's a time for introspection. It's a time for forgiveness, for family, for thoughtful prayer. And my prayer for this community, for you, is that we open ourselves up to hear and learn from each other, no matter the age, and that we each experience all of the complexity of living, both the blessings and the curses, with joy and with grace. Shabbat Shalom.
I've been blind to your presence, I've been deaf to your call. Head full of cries, full of lies, not clear at all. I have wrestled in my sleep, I have pushed you away. Now I'm left in the quiet where I weep and I pray. I said, God, I've been looking. You said, I've been here. Watching and waiting and yearning for you to appear. And I asked, do you love me? I've been so very wrong. You replied, I have loved you all along. is I who've been gone, it is I who have to learn. All you do is await my return. God was in this place. God was in this place. God was in this place, and I did not know. I did not know. God was in this place, and I did not know. I did not know.
So beautiful. It's my pleasure to call to the bima the president of our congregation, Hillary King, to deliver our congregational announcements.
Great. Shabbat Shalom. Our announcements this week take on a feel of learning in keeping with the kind of back-to-school fall time feel. So to begin with, on Monday, September 23rd at noon, we have this month's Ask, Lunch, and Learn. Rabbi Kaluzny will be presenting a behind-the-scenes look at this beautiful new Shiva prayer book that we published early this year. We published it, but you created it and worked on it, and it is really beautiful, and we thank you, and I know it will bring a lot of comfort to those who mourn and grieve. Thank you. We have a YedWeb learning experience called the YedWeb Twist on Tuesday, September 24th at 7 p.m. with Rabbi Paul YedWeb. View the world from a different perspective through traditional text and learn to dance through life in a more successful, more enlightened, more meaningful, and joyful way. I think this is another way for him to recreate his Shabbat Unplugged. He's looking for all sorts of ways. Wednesday, September 25th at 3 p.m., we have an adult health and fitness class. This structured 1-hour low-impact exercise program is performed both from a seated and standing position. The class is led by an NSCA certified trainer, but you do need a doctor's note to participate. On Thursday, September 2nd at 1, it is the first of our 4 adult creative art workshops with Jane Alcon. Create beautiful handcrafted pieces yourself, inspired by a different Jewish artist and a theme each week. And of course, the best time of fall and back to school time is the high holidays, which begin on Sunday, September 29th, with Erev Rosh Hashanah services. If you are unable to join us in person, as always, all of our services will be live streamed from our website. As always, if you would like more information about any of these programs, check the information table as you leave, check the website calendar, or call the temple office during regular business hours. I hope to see each of you at the Oneg. Shabbat Shalom.
So it's always so wonderful when we have all these learning opportunities, but you have to understand, as rabbis, we're all sitting up here and thinking, I don't want my colleagues to say anything between now and my sermon on the high holidays, because God forbid we should talk about what the other one is talking about. But we actually do talk to each other, so we figure that out, but still, I get worried. So as we turn to page 189 in our service, my pleasure to call to the bima all those in our congregation who are 11 and younger. We have a bunch of kids here tonight, which is wonderful. Please rise.
So funny to hear speaking the same thing.
Please be seated. So cute. We do take a moment in our services to recall the names of those in our congregation and community who have died in the past 30 days, the period of Shloshim. Dr. Adam Affelblatt, Minnie Bartos, Arnold Bernstein, Bruce Binstock, Mary Boyer, Bill Braun, Lee Colbert, Marcia Dickman, Hilda Edwards, Rose Fishoff, Ronald Fruitman, Julie Gerwin, Marcia Koretsky, Bill Lakritz, Carol Levitsky, Sarah Lynn Levy, Jean Lubin, Marilee Martin, Marshall Martin, Rochelle Martin, Jeffrey Arthur Oppenheimer, Ray Peltz, Regina Polinsky, David Reese, Elon Rosenberg, Shirley Rubin, Avner Saferstein, Miriam Samet, Arthur Singer, Stephanie Steinberg, Larry Wasserman, and Ninel Yashevich. We also recall the names of those whose yortzites occur on this Shabbat: Frank E. Baghdad, Betty Banner, Harry Collins, Paul Frank, Shirley Frank, Martha Goldberg, Ruth Lurie Goldberg, Sarah Holtzman, Harry Keller, Arthur Keeps, Anna Kimmler, Margot Klein, Harry Crystal, Stan Lotzoff, Mary M. Rice, Barry Ricklin, Marguerite Satofsky, Michael Syme, Hilda Tan, Lillian Victor, Molly Warsh, Rose Tarnow, Hortense Falk, Theron Heine, Clara Rossman, Francis Bachnick, Thelma Sturman, Coleman Stern, Helen Murav, and Nathan L. Fink. We remember them with love and honor them with words of Kaddish on page 199. Please rise. Yitzgadal v'yitzkadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divrach irtei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agalau v'zman kari v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam le'olmei olmaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudisha brichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. We pray that the source of peace sends peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved among us. Amen.
Service concludes as we join together, page 201 with Adon Olam. Shemo Nikra, Shabbat Shalom.